I found that there are three effective tools, if you will, that I've used that help me in preparing to speak. Now, these are exercises I do fairly soon before I speak, 5 to 10 minutes before. The first is exercise. Before you go up to speak, if you can find a place to isolate yourself where you can do push-ups, jumping jacks, running in place, something where you get your body moving. I've seen too many speakers who are calmly sitting down before they speak, where their body's not ready to get up with energy. And audiences sense energy or lack of it. So I would suggest some type of exercise. A second way is to listen to music, something that pumps you up right before you go on. Everybody's taste is different, so pick what works for you. Now, I have on occasion combined the two. Back in 2008, I was preparing to speak before 450 people, and about 10 minutes before I went up, I found a large room where I could isolate myself, put some music on, and I danced for about 10 minutes. Yes, I did, and I busted a move. And I got some of that energy out of me, the nervous energy, and then I also created more energy. So when I went on stage, I was ready to go, and the audience fed off of it. It was a great experience. The third tool that I have for you is to ask yourself 4 questions. Now, these questions were actually given to me by one of my speaking coaches, Darren LaCroix. He taught me to ask these 4 questions 5 minutes before you go on stage. These are audience-focused questions. First question is, what is my intent? Why am I here? This is a great way of centering yourself on the audience and say, I'm here to give them a message. I'm here to give them a tool, a process, a message that will change the way they think, feel, or act. So the first question is, what is my intent? Second is, am I present? In other words, am I here in the moment? Or am I thinking about the argument I had with my significant other, or struggles I'm having at work, or what are dinner plans tonight? When you ask yourself this question, am I in the moment? Am I present? That will help you focus on the audience. Third question, will I have fun? I understand how many people think that speaking is a traumatic experience. And in the previous video, I talked about how speaking is listed as the #1 fear. But if you like speaking, speaking should be fun. If it's not, you shouldn't be doing it, and you shouldn't be taking the audience's time. So make up your mind. This is going to be a fun experience. The fourth question is probably the best, and it's hard-hitting. And the question is this. If I knew this was the last speech I was ever going to give in my life, how would I give it? What mark would you want to leave? What would you want people to say if they said, oh, I saw his last speech or her last speech, and wow, it was fantastic? That's probably the impact you'd like to leave. So that last question is, if this was the last speech I ever give, how would I want to be remembered? Try these 3 tools 5 to 10 minutes before you speak, and I think you'll find that it helps you focus on your audience and it helps you control your nerves.